We go to yeshiva to learn, that's Torah. We seek closeness to Gedolim, that's Torah. We daven for inspiration and v'sein chelkenu b'sorasecha, that's Torah. We come up with chidushim in our own learning, that's Torah. Maybe. Welcome to Torah Maybe. I'm Steve Geller. The Torah always has very deep, meaningful reasons for every letter of every word. Even when the Torah speaks in metaphor, there should hopefully be some connection to the actual words used and the object that they're describing. We're going to look at an innocent metaphor and see if there are clues as to a more literal use of the metaphor. In Bamidbar Parsha Shlach, part of the Meraglim's report were, there we saw the Nephilim, sons of the giant Nephilim, Banehi ve'einenu kechagavim. We were like grasshoppers in our eyes, v'chein hayinu b'eineihem, and so we were in their eyes. The Torah clearly says kechagavim, grasshoppers, but Rashi changes it to ants. Commenting on the end of the pasuk, v'chein hayinu b'eineihem, Rashi quotes a Gemara in Sota that describes a dialogue between the giants. We heard them say to one another, there are ants in the vineyards that look like human beings. Obviously, the metaphor is to paint the picture of the enormous size of the giants living in the land compared to the relatively puny size of the regular humans. But which is it, grasshoppers or ants? And why did Rashi and virtually all commentators who agree with him change the actual word in the Torah to a completely different word? If the Torah meant to say ants, why didn't it? And another question, what is added by Vanehi ve'einenu kechagavim? We were like grasshoppers in our eyes. From a pure metaphor standpoint, it would have been more than enough to just say we were like grasshoppers in their eyes. That would have conveyed the size metaphor perfectly. There's something very important we have to know about the spies' time in Canaan. It's found in a perfectly innocent pasuk announcing the return of the spies from their trip. By Yeshuva mitur haaretz, they returned from touring the land, miketz arba'im yom, at the end of 40 days. I'm not sure if one would run to Rashi for more understanding on this straightforward pasuk, but if you did, you got a lot more than you bargained for. Rashi quotes a Medrash Tanchuma, but isn't the land 400 parsa by 400 parsa, and the journey of an average man is 10 parsas a day? So it would be a distance of 40 days just from east to west alone. From north to south 40 days, from west to east 40 days, and from south to north 40 days. That's 160 days total while they traveled along the length and the breadth during that 40-day period. The fact is that it was known to Hashem that he would make a decree against them, a day for a year, Yom L'Shana. Therefore, he made them cover the ground rapidly. It turns out that the spies' entire trip through the land involved a miraculous ability by Hashem, allowing them to cover a 160-day trip in only 40 days. Let's quickly review the questions that we have. Why did Rashi change the word grasshoppers in the Torah to ants and add dialogue? If the grasshoppers mentioned in the pasuk is not a size metaphor, and that's why Rashi changed it to ants, why are grasshoppers mentioned at all? Number 3, why did they look like grasshoppers in their eyes? And number 4, how did they make a 160-day trek in only 40 days? Let's look a little closer at our pasuk. The Torah uses an unusual word, vanehi. It doesn't say we looked like grasshoppers in our eyes. It said we were like grasshoppers in our eyes. Hashem's miracle bringing the spies back from a 160-day trip in 40 days could easily have been accomplished by making the spies walk like grasshoppers, each step moving them the equivalent of 4 regular steps. Remember, Vanehi be'einenu kechagavim, we were like grasshoppers in our eyes, v'chein hayinu b'eineihem, so we were in their eyes. It's not referring to their size, it's referring to how they moved through the land. Now let's answer all our questions. Why did Rashi change the word grasshoppers in the Torah to ants and add dialogue? The answer is Rashi was talking about size. The spies weren't. That's why Rashi only addressed v'chein hayinu b'eineihem, and so we were in their eyes. Rashi didn't address vanehi be'einenu kechagavim, how the spies appeared in the spies' own eyes. Of course, the spies said we were like grasshoppers in our eyes in amazement because they couldn't believe the miracle as it was happening either. Number 2, if the grasshoppers mentioned in the pasuk is not a size metaphor, why are the grasshoppers mentioned at all? It was referring to the miracle of how they returned in 40 days. Our third question, why did they look like grasshoppers in the spies' eyes? Now it's very good. If they were hopping around, covering 4 steps for every 1 regular human step, of course they look like grasshoppers in their eyes and in the eyes of the giant. How did they make a 160-day trek in 40 days? Now you know. So look, I get it. It sounds preposterous, like a joke, right? Well, I have to tell you, I ran this by my Rav, Harav Eitan Feiner Shlita, and his response made me very proud. That response, 2 words. Grasshoppers? Maybe. Thank you for watching Torah Maybe. Subscribe and check the description to find out how you can submit your original chidushim for this channel.